Welcome back to the BA Podcast. It's your boy C-Roc here. We're in Las Colinas, right outside of Dallas at the Ritz-Carlton. I guess we're in fourth quarter already. I can't believe it in 2025. And I have my man AJ here, fresh off the stage. And we're getting into the process of how to actually serve people versus take from people. You know, I think that's a huge thing. And I'm a big guy on transformational businesses versus transactional. And so that's what we're going to get into today. AJ, thanks for joining me, man.
Pleasure to be here.
All right. So, you know, you get into how can I serve people versus how can I take, and you know, it's not easy for a lot of people. You know, it's an identity shift, right? I think, and I like to go deep in my podcasts and conversations, okay? And I love to hear your background and your take on this. I think that you have to be something before you can do something, right? Most people think they have to do something and then they become something. I think that if you're going to approach a mastermind, a group, a network like the right way, like I believe how you do it is the right way, you have to be that person before you step in the room, right? So what are your thoughts on that? Like, do you think about your identity and who you're bringing to the table?
I do, and it just happened to me naturally. So although I said that I do think about it, at the same time I don't think about it. It just happens naturally for me. But for those who have been part of masterminds, networking groups, and they felt like they are not getting anything out of it, and then they just go away. Maybe for so many different reasons. But if you really want be what you want to be for others to like you, to trust you, to even end up doing business with you, it's a mind shift. It's a mindset shift that you have to go through, right? So again, if you are just friendly, you're talking to a lot of folks, you just genuinely care about those people. I think that's the right mindset to have, and just learn about. I even learn about these folks' families and what they've been up to, because for some reason I just remember what they've been doing in the past. Like if I meet them in 3 months, I just remember what they've been doing in the past. So when I just talk to them about, hey, you remember you said that you are opening up a chicken coop because you live in the country. How is that going with all the financial advisory work that you do? They're like, AJ, you remember that?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
So I think just be a friendly person, just and genuinely care about people. If you genuinely care about people and be a friendly person, and then it's the conversations become easy.
Yeah. I really approach things with this, how can I cause and create a future for or with that person? And this is what I'm seeing with you. Not just the one business you have and building apps and helping people with SEO and digital marketing and these things, but the other things that you've done to start collaborating with people and causing and creating a future with them.
Yeah.
And so to me, in business and life, the most attractive thing you can do is cause and create futures for and with people, right? And that's what you've done. So let's talk about the initial business you came in with was tech, and marketing, right?
Yeah. So I started KallistoTech 18 years ago with my co-founder, and we were just a website development shop. We were cranking out websites, over and over and over again. And to this day, we still create high conversion websites. But that turned into a SEO shop, cold email marketing, warm email marketing, funnel building, all of that, what you can expect in a full service marketing agent. So we have that. And when we were doing that, some of our website clients were asking for some complex functionality in their websites. Can you create this tool? Can you add this functionality, so on and so forth. So it was a natural progression for us to go from just a website development company to an app development and a custom software development company. So we started that around 8 years ago at KallistoTech. We were actually called KallistoArt in the past because our passion was to creating most beautiful art form on the web.
I love this.
Right?
This is right up my alley. I'm gonna keep going. Keep going.
So
I love this.
When we got into app development and the custom software development, we had a little bit of a change of identity as a company. So that's why we changed from KallistoArt to KallistoTech.
Okay. So I have a saying: aesthetic is magnetic.
Yeah.
You know, aesthetic is really high on a band, an emotional band. And I just did an event in Beverly Hills, and I made sure that we had it at a place where people would lose their breath when they walked in, right? Because aesthetic is magnetic.
Right.
And so many sites on the internet are just so boring and terrible. But when you get a site that's like eye-catching, it pulls them in.
Yeah.
And I love that you did that.
Yeah, because I mean, in the age of AI that we live in, you get to see social reels about people saying that you just click 3 buttons and that's your new website.
Right.
Show me one of those websites that loads quicker, looks great, and really does the job for you. This is why people still keeps on coming back to us to get a custom website created, and it's not expensive to work with us. A lot of people have this notion that if you get a custom website created, it's going to be crazy expensive. It's not the case. Because of AI, we can create these websites much quicker. But it's not about creating the website, but it's knowing the aesthetics that you need to put in place. So when someone goes to your website, how do they digest the information? How do they call? How do they take the call to action as something that they want to click on? How would they complete their information in a form that you put out there, right? A lot of people don't do that because everybody knows that these websites collect your information and then they are going to get all these sales calls, right? So how do you get away from that? So this is kind of the skill set that we bring to the table.
Yeah, and technology has worked in your favor, right? 8 years ago, you couldn't create an app really fast.
Right.
Right. So it's worked in your favor, which, you have anytime you're running a business, you want to have a certain margin.
Yeah.
Right. And the higher margin, the better. But you're able to pass that on with technology advancing, the speed of fulfillment or building the apps or websites. And this has all worked in your favor with the idea that you had and the evolution of the company. So can you speak to what AI is doing for you now in this realm?
Yeah, absolutely. So, when we were creating apps in the past, we had to create everything from scratch, right? So with the advent of AI, we are now able to create the user experience and the user interfaces pretty quickly and easily with AI. So this has brought 25 to 30% of efficiency to what we do, and now we are able to pass that 25 to 30% as cost savings to our customers. So now to create an app, if you have an idea for an app, it's so easy to implement it, and it's cost less. It used to cost millions and millions of dollars to create an app and to get involved with someone and in terms of creating an app. But now within 60 to 50 to $80,000, you can create an app pretty quickly. The minimum viable version or the MVP, you can get that out or version 1 pretty easily and pretty quickly.
How fast?
Within 3 months. 3 months, 4 months, when it used to take at least at least 9 months to 10 months. So we have brought that in pretty, shrunk that process. So, AI has really has worked in favor of us.
When you say from scratch, you're talking about coding everything, having to use code.
Having to use code,
That's from scratch. And now you can use no code. There's click and drops now. There's all kinds of things.
Or you can just tell the basically have a prompt which will create you the user interfaces, the user experience, and see how that prompt works. Because here's how people used to build apps. They used to code everything in the back end, the programming or the software programming, the technical stuff, and then create the user interfaces. And what the issue with that is there might be some miscommunication between the client and the developer has created something that the client doesn't want, but in developer's mind, this is exactly what the client wanted.
Right.
But now we have flipped that, and we actually create the user interfaces from start to finish for version 1, and we get a sign off of that, and then only we can go back and create the actual programming code behind it.
Right. I've been in tech for a while now, and I remember our interactions with the developers. They could not get the vision.
Right.
And even if I was really good at laying out the vision, it just didn't comprehend in their mind the same way that I envisioned it.
And do you know why?
Well, because they're not visionaries. They're more.
Because a lot of us are visual creatures, right? So if you have a good reference point, then it's easy to talk about anything, right? This is why architects creates a blueprint before, building, right?
Yeah. So it was in reverse back in the day?
It was.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
was.
wireframes would come after.
Yeah. So there will be wireframes, but now we are taking a step forward, right?
Okay.
So creating not just the wireframe, but the actual user interfaces, right? So when you create the user interfaces, you don't actually have to even create wireframes anymore because of AI. You can get straight to the user interfaces, because even wireframes kind of give you half the story. Mm-hmm. So if you have the user interfaces created, then it's so much easier to know that, okay, this is how I want each of these buttons to work. I want the experience to be like this. When I don't want the video to be playing until I click the button, or I want the video to play even without clicking the button, right? So if you have laid out all of that, it becomes so much easier to know what that vision is.
And what's the difference between when you can create an app now in like 5 minutes, but with a good prompt, versus 60 days, 3 months that you're talking about, what you guys do?
Yeah. So the difference is, the app that you are spitting out within 5 minutes is just the almost like a prototype.
Okay.
It's just a prototype. A lot of people say that, hey, I created an app within 3 minutes. It's not the case. That app cannot be used in the real world. You gotta make sure that you get into everything about the user experience, and then spit it out, and also know if anything goes wrong, how would you troubleshoot that, right? Because when everything is going right, great, but things go wrong. I mean, we have seen the blue screen nowadays so many times.
Oh yeah.
So.
And what about scalability with those quick apps? You can't scale it.
You can't scale them.
It's not,
what's
the point of having an app if you can't scale it?
Right, exactly.
Unless you're just using it for yourself for personal use, right?
Yeah, and I mean, if you are just creating something that you want to use it for yourself, and you just throw it out there, maybe with your friends group, then fine. But if you want an app that you want to take mainstream, you want to have an app that's strong, has a solid foundation behind it.
Right. All right. Now I want to get into serving people with a business that you have versus collabing with people and starting something with people, because you've done a lot of that here.
Yeah.
And I'm amazed by it. I love it. I love collaboration and creating new things. There's a concept in quantum called the third thing. And this third thing will never happen without two people or multiple people coming together, and this third thing happens. Yeah. It could be a conversation. It could be a concept. The phrase I used earlier, aesthetic is magnetic, came from, that's a third thing. It came from a conversation I was having with someone. So can you tell us about how that idea came up to start collabing with people, and then what's on the docket right now? What are you guys working on?
Yeah, so the idea came just very naturally. A lot of folks who come to us for creating an app or creating a business, right? Because we do a lot of brand building. They want to have a trusted resource on their side, and then going back to the mindset. If you shift your mindset from being a vendor to a partner, that's where you make that mark.
Which is an identity.
Which is an identity, right? If you are a partner, if you truly want your customers to be successful rather than just, collecting a paycheck, then you have, given your dues, you have really done a good job with creating that identity, because nobody wants to have that transactional type experience or the partnership. So when our customers get to see, we pour our heart and soul into whatever we are working on, whether it's a website or an app or, SEO, whatever it is, they're like, I want these guys to be on my side. Hey, AJ and team, let's partner up. So with that, we have had, many different partnerships or many partnerships in the past. And I will just, highlight a few. So Yachtify, goyachtify.com is a yacht listing platform that we've built. It's, think of that as Auto Trader for yachts.
So sales and rentals, or just sales?
Listings. So you're
Maybe rentals too.
It won't be rentals.
No. Okay.
Just listings. Yeah. So just sales. Just sales. So just like Auto Trader.
What about adding rentals into it?
Maybe, but I don't want to, I mean, we probably don't want to kind of muddy the water there in terms of the branding there. Okay. We can probably create something else for that. Now, so the Yachtify platform was created for the use of the brokers, but then we thought about, what about the guys who want to sell their own boat? If they have like 10-footer, 20-footer, they want to sell their own boat like for sale by owner. So we are in the process of launching another platform called Boat Lister.
Okay. So the first one was just for brokers.
Just for brokers, yeah. Okay. I mean, like it'll have all the boats, but it's mainly for big boats. Any boat which is $100,000 and more, that type of thing, all the way up to,
well, shoot, you can't get much for 100,000 anymore.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're right. You're right. But you can get a pretty decent one for, 250. You can get like a used one. I'm not talking about brand new.
Now, have you integrated financing into it?
So what we are doing is, we are building the MLS for that, and then we are also working on the closing platform. So just like, when you go and, buy a car, you have to go and sit down with the finance guy. Yeah. So we have we have put in the finishing touches of the closing program, which is called One Ocean Closings. Okay. So it's a whole ecosystem.
Integrated?
It's integrated. Okay. It's integrated.
And then financing would be another
Financing will be easy after that. Yeah. Financing will be, we probably won't get into financing, but what we'll do is, we'll pull in the financing companies into it. So it's going to be easy.
So instead of building from scratch, you look for people that are already established and integrate them.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the fastest way to scale.
And then the second project that really interests me and which keeps me up at night is Sterling Cigars Online, which we just launched. So it's sterlingcigarsonline.com, another lifestyle brand. Sterling Cigars Bar and Lounge is a upscale bar and lounge that is located in Tampa, Florida, and we partnered up with them. So we basically created like the online arm of what they have, and we have all the major brands, the Padrones, the Olivas, the AJ Fernandez, the My Fathers, Fuentes, Plasencia.
So you took brick and mortar and added e-com.
Turn it into an e-com brand, and it's thriving, and I welcome everyone to go and check out sterlingcigarsonline.com.
Okay, so we have a few minutes left. I just want to cover how did that come about, the conversation that took place for that to originate.
So it was straight out of BA. Sterling Cigars was an exhibitor at one of these evening mixers after the event, right? So I just went and chat with them, became friends with them, took a trip to Nicaragua, cigar trip, and felt like I got a PhD within 3 days about cigar manufacturing. And I was anyway interested in cigars, and have been enjoying cigars for a long time. So it was a very, again, natural connection that I was able to make there.
And then they were open to the conversation. Who brought up the idea first of e-com?
I think it was, I can't even remember who brought it. It was a mutual conversation,
and it just was natural.
It was natural. Right into it. Yeah, it was natural.
I love this, man. Yeah. Well, listen, I want to congratulate you because I value and admire transformational leaders, and we need more of that in this world. Collaborators. And I operate this way. And, I made millions in my life in the mortgage real estate space, but it was transactional. And I would come home miserable at night to a beautiful wife, 2 healthy kids, making millions, but come home miserable. And I figured it out it took me 40 years. I'm a hard-headed guy. I guess it takes me a little longer. Yeah. But I when I realized, it came to me one day, it's like, wait a minute, this is transactional. And that's why I'm feeling like this. Let's figure out a way to transform and not compete. I didn't like my competitors. Right. Like when I was in the mortgage business, I hated my competitors. I didn't want to be friends with them. Yeah. I was jealous of them. Yeah. Then I started thinking to myself, wait a minute, what if I was able to help them with things that worked for me? Yeah. And they were able to help fill my gaps and weaknesses.
I love that. Yeah.
And we worked together. Yeah. And then we would make so much more money. It wouldn't matter that we were competing in the same business. Right. It changed everything. So I admire what you're doing, and I want to thank you for that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. I think, that's exactly what my mindset is. There are a lot of folks, who are in this very room that does the same stuff as what I do, but I never look at them as competitors. If you think of them as your collaborative crowd, and they are your friends, we can all work together and help so many folks and serve them. You're gonna win.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, AJ. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, Mike. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, guys, that's BA Podcast for today. Thank you for watching or listening, however you're consuming the content. Make sure you like and subscribe, whatever it says on your favorite podcast platform, and keep coming back, and consider joining BA It's a great group.